Welcome back to Let's Not Sugarcoat It. Season 3 is here and we're excited to dive into the core of communication, relationships, and leadership.
We're your hosts, Bella and Lee, a husband and wife duo with a successful business helping couples and organizations get it together to play a bigger game and elevate their relationships and performance.
We believe in keeping it real, so each week we'll bring you incredible guests, entrepreneurs sharing their authentic experiences, along with episodes featuring just the two of us tackling the tough topics.
So, if you're ready to enhance your connections and sharpen your leadership skills, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome to the last episode of 2025 of Let's Not Sugarcoat It.
Mm-hmm. We're all settling in for the holidays. So looking forward to a little bit of like downtime. Yeah, although it's still busy.
I know.
Right?
It's a couple of days before Christmas and we still have to do the shopping.
That's right. But it's a different type of busy.
It is.
Right? So... And we're looking forward to spending this time not just, focusing on family and stepping away from, work in air quotations, but focusing on 2026.
That's right.
Reflecting on what went well in 2025 so we can repeat that in 2026, but then as well as take a look at, what didn't work out all that great. In 2025, so we can make those pivots and changes for 2026.
Right. Yeah, lessons learned. But first, we want to thank everybody for an amazing season. Thank you for showing up. Mm-hmm. Thank you to our new listeners. Thank you to those who have been through it all with us. And we are looking forward to the next year, showing up for you, showing up for community.
Yes.
And having amazing guests and tools so that we can all learn together.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's been great. Great comments. Right?
And I kind of like amazing you being my co-host. I wasn't sure about you.
I'm kind of all right.
You're kind of all right. Pisses me off because I love your voice. You have this radio voice, and I feel like my voice is a little bit squeakier and a bit annoying when I hear myself. So I do apologize for those who do think that. I can't help it. It is what it is.
I think it's height related.
Oh, please.
I think it's because you're short.
I am not short. Okay, I want you guys to comment. Is 5'7" short for a woman?
You're shorter than 5'7".
I am just, it's a quarter less shorter.
That's still,
but
that's still in the 5'6" range.
No.
Yeah.
I am like, we round up. So yeah, let's get into it. This is all about not perfection, not being polished.
Yep.
Being Polish though, it's about practical, honest communication skills, just conversations that matter the most, that we can use on a daily basis. We can really implement them into our lives and we can move forward with velocity.
Yeah. It's about just an honest reflection of 2025. So
let's get through it.
Start us off.
Yeah. So through the relationship lens, the themes that we weaved in and out of this season was growth created friction.
Yes. Growth created friction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we were starting our business together.
Yes. Yeah. There was...
Let's talk about that, because I think that was a huge lesson for us as a couple, married couple, and a couple who works together.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about what is communication, what does it mean? A huge part of that is talking about and asking for what you want, right? Because that was a big piece of that.
Yes.
Is when we were strategizing and coming up with a vision for the business, the direction we wanted to go in, we had a lot of start and stops. Because we would sit down and chat through what it is that we wanted to, the market we wanted to go into, what was our niche going to be, all of those things. And we would get out of those conversations excited, feeling like we were moving together in a direction that we were aligned.
And then, and then
the brakes would.
Then I would.
It was like emergency brake.
Emergency brake. Hold up. Because I was slipping back into my old patterns, which I wasn't really recognizing at the moment. It was that people pleasing, not seeing my worth, feeling like you were going to be the one that was going to be carrying this, because that's how I felt before.
Right.
My transformation, because old habits are so easy to return and come back to.
They die hard.
Yeah, definitely. And at the beginning, when we were building this business, we were building our brand, I would go back quite often of feeling like I am not good enough, and then saying, no, actually I am. And that's where the tension and friction would come, because I felt like my voice wasn't being heard in the company.
Right.
Because years prior, that's all we would focus on is you.
Yeah.
That I would be the supporting role, that I would be doing this. And I didn't quite realize how not okay I was with that.
Yeah.
Until it was time to pull the trigger.
Yeah. Until we had a very open conversation on how we were both feeling about it, because my tendency was always to just be, okay, like, let's do whatever I can to make sure you're okay, right? To please you. And sometimes that meant not saying what I needed to say. And it really came down to, I know, one critical conversation. I think we were on the highway coming back from Vancouver, I think. Anyway, it was like, well, hold up. Like, I am confused, because I continue, like, we have these conversations, we have alignment on what we need to do. And then all of a sudden, you're not okay with it again. And I think my words were along the lines of, like, I am not standing in your way. Like, if you want to, like, be like a equal partner where you're, speaking, you're doing you're doing all those things, like, I am for it, but you have not communicated that to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't realize how much I've put myself in the backseat until I had to. Remember, we were coming from Vancouver, and then we stopped at the town, Merritt. I needed to take a meeting, and I was going to be pitching our business to a women's only group network. And I was sitting there, and I was really battling with, how am I going to pitch this business for women, but my husband is the one that's going to be the voice? Where is my voice? Like, where is my voice in this whole business endeavor?
Yeah. The brand,
and
the journey.
That's when it triggered. I'm like, I have not been speaking up myself.
That's right.
I have not been communicating what my vision, because we didn't work our plan yet.
That's right.
We didn't do our process of our vision, our mission, and what it is that we want, not just for the business, ourselves as a couple, but just for ourselves as individuals. And I think that was the key and the catalyst of pushing us to new heights and developing this program, this system, this method of communicating, and getting truly aligned on where and how we were going to work together.
Yeah, because we could never build any momentum before.
No.
Right? Because every time it seemed like we were starting to build a little bit of momentum, you wouldn't feel right. And because you weren't getting clear for yourself, you weren't being honest with yourself and authentic with yourself about what it is that you truly wanted, then that discomfort, you would, like a lot of people look around and be like, where is this coming from? Oh, it must be coming from my husband, right? Who, is, I'm tired of being in his shadow, whatever that was. And it was just us getting real.
Yeah.
Right. We decided to, let's not sugarcoat it. And then you were able to be like, yes, this is what I want. And I was able to go, okay, now I'm clear on what it is that you want. And now we can build a plan around that. So the key around this particular point, again, is about communication is about asking for what you want.
Yes.
And not focusing on the don't wants, right? Which then leads into kind of our vision building, which was another huge part of that process. Once we were really clear on what it was that...
I think the big one for that is, for me, I wasn't clear
That's right.
about what I wanted for me. I knew what I wanted for us, but we've never done this whole vision and goal setting separately. Yeah. And that was the key to truly figuring out how we are going to marry our two visions together and lead this business so that both of us are filled, like that void, that purpose. What was I didn't know my purpose. And a lot of our friends are struggling. We come to these crossroads. It's like, well, what am I doing this for? What is my purpose? But we don't have the tools, or we don't do it. Maybe we do have the tools, but we just don't do the work. Sitting down and really writing out and being so true and honest with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between insight and action.
Yeah.
You know, you can have an insight where you get this like aha moment. Like, oh, that's the power of this tool. I can see how this practice can really, help me in my business or change a certain part of my life around. But then if you go from aha moment to then, just putting it on, not taking action on that aha moment, nothing changes. Everything just goes back to the way that it was.
Yeah.
And so it was taking action on that process.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I'm so excited to be doing during the holidays.
Oh, yeah, I think it's one of the greatest time. I mean, we do a little bit of it, right? Already leading up to it. We're already starting to, prior to today and going to the holidays, talking about what are some of the things that are, shifting for us, pulling us maybe in a slightly different direction that we're excited about. But this is the time where everything's a little bit quieter. We sit down and really just, put it to pencil to paper.
Yeah. And I feel like winter overall is a season of reflection.
Yes.
We tend to constantly push, year end and then budgeting and all that stuff. But we don't really sit down and reflect on all the good things that have happened and actually soak it in and take it in and be like, wow, this is what we've accomplished so far, because we can get totally like into the zone of constantly moving the benchmarks up and up. And then we don't actually take back. So then it doesn't always feel like we've done enough.
Yeah,
and we're chasing more.
Yeah, before you even cross the finish line, you're kind of changing the goalposts.
Yes.
And so you never get an opportunity to reflect and say, oh, wow, I did it. I set a goal. It was a hard, difficult thing, and I achieved it.
Yes.
All too often, just
before we're reaching it, we're like,
goal.
oh yeah, next goal,
yeah.
Which is amazing. It's great. It's fine. However, taking that time to really sit in your achievement and celebrating is very important.
It is very important. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good at that.
No.
I've gotten better. Yeah.
That's true.
So also, when we're talking about the dreaming piece, another important part of communication is dreaming big. Because
not just but for the vision and mission.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Because we talk a lot about the vision, mission setting as a good process and getting alignment in our relationship, in a relationship.
Yeah.
From an external standpoint, it's also really important to do that from a relationship standpoint with yourself.
Yes.
Because you'll really get a sense of when you dream big, of when you have those thoughts that like get you really uncomfortable and have you start thinking that I don't think I can do it, or you start kind of being your own little hater, right? That is really a signal of your relationship with yourself. When you start downplaying what you're capable of, when you start playing smaller when it comes to the possibilities that are available to you, I think that's a real, good sense of awareness to be like, oh, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
I need to work on my relationship with myself, that I can set big goals. And that shift where you start to decouple a bit of the result part of the dream and connect more of the action based of the dream, because that's the part that matters. Yeah. That's what makes you, an amazing human being, is someone who takes action on big, hairy, audacious goals. Not
I am the one that is all about action.
Yes.
For sure. I've been always the one that pushes. I set an intention and I just go for it. Mm-hmm. And I think dreaming big, we did lose that few years back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which also triggered kind of the start of our relationship breakdown.
Yeah, and we started to lose that connection
in that aspect. But dreaming big is, for us, so important.
Yeah.
And living into that, because we are all capable of achieving absolutely anything we really, truly want. But the key thing, the key learning, the key takeaway is you need to believe it yourself. And then we go and you move and you track your progress, track your actions, what's working, what's not working. There's a system for measurement of that. But like you talked about in some previous episodes, was a lot of people will dream big and then there will be that fear of, and then there'll be, it's too big. I don't actually need this. I don't want to do what I wanted that bad. And then they start diminishing the dreams because
dream a little smaller.
Dream a little smaller because taking those actions, because it's too far out.
Yep.
I feel.
Yeah, too far out. So then, we lie to ourselves about either our ability to actually achieve it because it feels like it's going to take too long, right? I gotta learn too many new things. It's too uncomfortable. I got to put myself out there too much. Or we start lying to ourselves about where we actually are.
Yes. We
start to lie to ourselves and say that we're actually closer to achieving that goal to make ourselves feel a little bit more comfortable, that we're not as far away or we're not as worse off as we, think we are. And that doesn't help us.
No.
Right?
Because it's avoiding.
That's right.
It's going into that avoidance style of not actually doing the things that you are capable and want to do. And that's when things starts to deteriorate, because then resentment grows, unhappiness, you settle, you project that onto your partner or those around you, and
or you don't act with enough urgency. Let's face it, some things require a high level of urgency. Yes. Like you need to put a lot of energy, a lot of velocity into certain actions to build momentum, to get things moving. And when we lie to ourselves about where we actually are to make ourselves feel a little bit more comfortable, then we're a little bit more relaxed and, we take our time and we lose that, impact where we can get something done in a shorter amount of time.
Like our website. Let's talk about that.
With enough velocity.
So I think the website is a perfect example of like that avoidance piece for both of us, because when we started it, we weren't 100% clear on what it is exactly that we are working towards doing. Like we didn't have the clarity because we started something before we actually got clear. We weren't clear exactly on where we were going, how we were working this business. And because we were already taking the steps, even though we were not clear. We were not clear. That's the key one.
We thought we were clear.
We thought we were clear, but we started taking action. And because we started taking action, we started getting opportunities. And we jumped on those opportunities and then business grew. And then we started to reflect going, holy man, this actually feels so aligned. So even without the site, without being super duper clear, we started taking actions towards something that we wanted. We didn't have everything figured out.
No.
We had lots of stuff figured out, but we don't want to wait for that perfection.
I have this image in my head It was I don't know, it was a reel or something that I saw where it's like, you know, what people think the entrepreneurial journey is like, where it's like, you know, someone with a pen on a piece of paper and it's like a straight line, you know, or this gentle kind of curve, you know, when it's like, but what it's actually like, and it's just like
jaggedy,
this squiggly line all over the place, left, right, circles, up, down, and that's 1,000% accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without proper communication, we wouldn't have made it to where we are today.
No, not even close.
Because even though there was all these pivots and turns and zigzags and whatnot, we really got clear on how we would communicate with each other, how we were going to respond to take, because how does it say? What does it say? It says that regulation over reaction, right?
Yes.
So that's a big one, especially when you are a couple working together, or, you know, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, relationships in general. Our emotions can get the best of us.
Yeah.
And
which means bringing out sometimes the worst of us.
That's right.
Yeah.
And learning how to regulate and not overreact.
Yeah.
And when there is overreaction, and that's the key, is in the repair. Acknowledging when something was said or done or not done.
Yeah.
And then how the repair, because it's in the repair that you build that connection.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, it's not the absence of the uncomfortable situations or the conflict, right? It is how we handle the conflict. So how we're able to practice that regulation. Yeah. So taking some long, deep breaths and, you know, sitting not, you know, face to face or shoulder, but switching shoulder to shoulder, practicing some things that put us into a problem solving mode versus a fight or flight mode.
Yeah. Not also, a you against me.
That's right.
There's no line in the sand. We're on the same team.
Yeah. We're in this together. Yeah. Also paying attention to our heart rates. So not that we're like digitally monitoring our heart rates, but we all get a sense when our heart rate's a little bit high. It's about bringing attention to it and knowing that, okay, if we're not in a restful heart rate state and our heart rate's like 90 to 100 beats per minute or higher, we're in a fight or flight mode. There is no like logical talking. And then
yeah. And then as the partner who's on the receiving end of somebody with a higher heart rate, that's a gentle way of putting it. Realizing and recognizing that they are in that state.
Yep.
And giving them some grace and space and not taking it so personally per se. And then giving them that opportunity to come back and do the repair.
And I think that's where the practicing the repair is so important, because it's also in the, like, giving the person the chance, doing the work ahead of time to know that, okay, this is a process, right? When we do have a conflict and it doesn't, you know, we're unable to regulate ourselves, it doesn't go the way that we would want it to, that we've learned about the process of repairing. And that when somebody comes in and after that happens and either cracks a joke, you know, comes, touches a hand, touches a shoulder, even apologizes, those are all the beginnings of that person trying to repair. Yeah. And then us, okay.
So there's no punishment on the other side. Like, that's the key, right? Is like, yes.
No resentment.
No resentment. Let the repair happen and see where it goes.
Yeah. And that.
Because repair restores safety.
Yes.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Because then you know that, yes, there will be moments where we both are going to have a breakdown. We're all human. But it is safe to come back as you're still my person.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Still a safe space for each other. Yeah.
And
it's a really powerful process, because I do want to say that, you know, we went through a period of time where there was certain conversations or certain situations where our experiences were we were not a safe space for each other.
That's right.
And in following this process of, leaning into uncomfortable conversations before they escalate. It's something that needs to happen. And then if they do escalate, that there's a repair process, and we would follow that repair process, just as I was saying, right? Like just when intentionally acknowledged, me to you or you to me or to ourselves, saying, okay, this is not going in the direction. This is not helpful.
Yeah.
We need to take a pause, walk away, come back, not walk away for days.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes now it's like minutes, but before it used to be, we need to take some hours.
Right? And I think it is important to kind of give our listeners an example of how that could turn into something bad when you don't do the repair, and that cycle of this is before our breakdown. I was kind of trained because you were avoidant.
Yep.
And anytime I would have something that was on my mind that I wasn't happy or wanted to bring to attention in a calm way, you would say, oh, that's a you problem. I don't feel disconnected. If I said, let's say I'm disconnected, I feel disconnected. You would say, oh, well, that's on you because I don't feel disconnected. So then I would have to hold on to that. And then something else would come up, and then something else would come up until I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't.
Yeah. My avoidance of discomfort and conflict, anytime you brought it up, I would react in a way, whether my words were exactly what you said or some version of that, or just my body language. Either way, it would make you feel like you are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened was like, you would bring something up to me. It would make me feel like maybe you're making me wrong, or just uncomfortable. I would avoid it.
Or calling you out on something that you said you were going to do and you didn't.
And then through my actions, you would feel blamed, or that I was making you wrong for speaking what's on your minds. And then that made you feel like, okay, well, I guess I just need to pretend that I'm always okay.
Yeah.
Which is not healthy and is not factually possible, right? To always feel like you're okay. And then it would just bottle up until a point where, you couldn't handle it anymore. And then it would become,
and then the heart rate would go up.
Yeah. And then
at 2 a.m.
And then it would be some, a blow up. And then that would force me to have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then once our heart rates went back to normal, right, and everything was settled, we were good for a bit, but then I would fall back into my avoiding the uncomfortable things, and then we just fall into this cycle, right? I would disassociate with my emotions, and then you would learn that the only way to get me to deal with the things that we needed to talk about was to get emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this framework, which part of starting with the 2 is also learning about our attachment styles, right? Which then allowed us to be able to experience each other differently, talk about what we were learning, right? Learn about the repairs, all of that.
Yeah. And like our triggers too, right? Yeah. So like for you, tone, body language, all that kind of stuff, like literally my face has subtitles on it. I may not be speaking, but you know what I'm feeling, thinking, based on just my facial expressions.
Yeah.
However, it not always. So that's the key for you. Like,
it's not always about me.
It's not always about you.
Even if the situation we're in is involving me, or I'm in close proximity to you when the facial expression happens because of a conversation we're happening. It's just learning that sometimes something we are doing or something we're talking about reminds you of something, right?
Yes, or something happened. Let's say I got on the phone and I had a conversation, and then it's hard to switch sometimes. That's where our tools come in for taking deep breaths, so that we're not taking others' energies on and then bringing it into our conversations. But it's not always
Yeah.
about the person. Let's say you would come in and I was on the phone, or I had so much on my mind because I didn't get this done, triggered by the children, they were having fight, and you come in and you want to be all lovey-dovey and I just not in that space because I haven't regulated myself yet.
Yeah.
And you would take it as I am, that you are doing something wrong, that I don't want you to be touching me, to be talking to me. You took it very personally.
Yeah.
And we learned over the course of the last 3 years that it's not so.
No. And again, I think it comes back to, we've talked about this in other episodes. We haven't mentioned it today but about being curious, getting into that state of inquiry, because we are meaning making machines.
Yes.
And so whether it's your micro expressions or tone or my own, because, there are times where you've been like, don't roll your eyes. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't roll my eyes. Right. Or my tone, will sometimes be a trigger where it actually has nothing to do with each other, and being able to say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Ask the question, what's going on? Yes. What's going on? What do you need from me right now? Because sometimes, especially for me, so I think this is common for men, is we'll see or we'll get the energy in the room that something's not okay. And instead of asking what you need or what's going on, we'll just jump into some type of repair mode to try and fix it. We'll try and do something when it's not, usually because whatever we try to do has worked in the past, but it may not be what you need.
That's right.
And I find that now, instead of allowing the meaning making in my head to be like, you are upset with something to do with me or anything, right? I'll just put that. I mean, the meaning making is always still there, but it gets quieter and quieter and quieter the more that we practice this. And I just ask the questions, right? What's going on? What's on your mind?
And then as the partner that's being asked the question,
you have to be honest.
You have to be honest. That's the key. Don't say nothing. When obviously something, instead of saying nothing, I sometimes do that.
I have to call you out on that sometimes.
It's a habit that I'm working on, but it's less and less. Don't say nothing. It's just, you can say, if you don't want to talk about it right now, just say, hey, babe, I don't want to talk about it right now.
I'm working through it right now.
I'm working through something. Has nothing to do with you.
Correct.
Or I'm working through something. I got triggered by something you said, but I need to work through it. So just give me 10 minutes, an hour. Just let me do what I needed to do. And then I will come to you and we can talk about it.
And, for those that are like an anxious attachment style, that's easy for you to come back to it. I think it's also super important to know that if you're an avoidant like myself, you got to hold yourself responsible.
Yes. Because
there are times when I've done that, even if it's nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But I say, I'm just working through something right now. I'm just trying to make sense of it. Let's talk about it later. And then days go by and I don't come back to you to talk about it, especially if it's something I'm still trying to work through. Then your meaning making goes off. Right. And so even if I haven't fully figured it out, even if you don't have it fully figured out, you'll have some of it figured out, or maybe not. Still have the conversation and be like, hey, yesterday or, we said I'm working on this thing and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm still not. And you know what? Open up. And maybe your partner will
that's the
help.
key. Like, your partnership should be win-win, team. If you're not doing well, I'm not doing well.
Yeah. And that also helps create safety, right? It's not always, you don't have to screw up the conflict piece to then have to do a repair in order to create that sense of safety. You don't have to get conflict right in order to always create safety.
Yeah.
It's also about being vulnerable, right?
And remember that, it doesn't, just because there's a repair in progress, it creates safety. It doesn't always mean that you're going to be in agreement. Learn to accept that there are some things in life you just will not agree, and then set the boundaries and the rules around those things. When there is a moment where we're both not agreeing, what are the steps that we need to take so that both of us feel seen and heard?
Yep.
Because it's important, even though if you're not agreeing with the person, to really listen without those filters, to really try to kind of get into the deeper root causes or like the things that, why is my wife or why is my husband thinking this way?
Yeah.
What is the meaning behind it? What is he actually trying to say?
Listen for the gold.
Yes.
Right? Listen to, when people say listen to understand, that's what you're trying to do, is you're listening with curiosity, not listening with labels, not listening for where I can make you wrong, where maybe factually you are wrong, right? But it's not about pointing that out, right? It's not about, sometimes it's not even about admitting where you're right in those moments. It's just like listening to understand, get to know where you're coming from, get an understanding of your meaning making, right? Getting an understanding how you're feeling, all of that, right? Because once you can have a person feel seen and heard, because it's a feeling, being seen and heard. Once they feel that, then the armor starts to come off a little bit, and they'll be more open and having conversations about maybe shifting the meaning.
Yeah. And then, just like think to yourself in the back of your head, what is the purpose and intended outcome of this conversation, this comment? We say that to our children all the time, right? Yeah. It's like they're having an argument and somebody will say something, or they're having an argument and one will snippety say something, and then we'll catch them. It's like, okay, what is the purpose of this comment? What is the intended outcome? Like, are you just trying to be, well, it gets them thinking about what they're contributing, and us as well, what we are contributing to this conversation. Do we want to actually, are we looking just to fight, or are we looking for solution?
Yeah. And I love
sometimes
that you bring
I just
that up.
want to fight, fight with me.
I love that you bring that up, because we use that exact terminology. What is the purpose and intended outcome of this conversation? Like, even with each other, we don't say, what's the point of this? Because if you say what is the point of this? The point is I just want to be right. Yeah.
I want you to agree with me.
That's right. Saying the answer to the question, what's the point, I think is really easy to justify a bad conversation. Yeah. Where when you say, what's the purpose and intended outcome of that? Because the language is a little bit more like formal and workshoppy, because we use it a lot in our workshops, it just gets us to kind of pause. And we've had moments where, I mean, hey, yes, what's the purpose to the outcome? We will say what the purpose and intended outcome of this is. But there are times when one of us will just pause and go, you're right. Yeah. This is, there is no real, like, the purpose and intended outcome of this is not to move us forward. Yeah. Yeah.
But that took time, and that took practice, and it did take mistakes. And we're not perfect.
No.
And let me tell you, we're still not like perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. It's just learning and moving forward. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Then you pivot what works for your relationship.
Yeah. And whatever terminology works for you. Yeah. Right? I mean, we've landed on that term. But you could, I mean, we used to talk about how we can just like play with a safe word, like pineapple. Yeah. Right? I don't know. But we never really used it.
No, we didn't. No. And what kind of came up through the theme of this season too is like nervous system, heart rate. So when the body isn't safe, the conversations won't land. Yeah. Because when you're in fight and flight, you're in defense mode.
Yeah. The nervous system is, I think we think of emotions and feelings and that sense of like psychological safety as something that primarily lives in the mind. And although it does, it also lives in the body, right? It lives in our soma. And so we really need to be mindful of our nervous system and doing things to help regulate. There's that word again.
The habits that we've created this year.
Yes. Habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
We've really, there's been a lot of things that we've done. Some of them were start-stop.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been just like continuity, a lot of consistency. But we agree that there's like three major ones, right? One of them has been like reflection.
Yes.
Whether I've been doing a lot of the journaling, it's been working really well for me. You've been doing a lot of the meditation.
Oh my gosh.
And we share how that's working for us and then practice kind of the other, right? So
I've been journaling and
I've been doing meditation, kind of taking that on.
It's in bed. Okay. So this is how my husband participates in my meditation in the morning, because I do it just before alarm goes off. I put on my 20-minute meditation and I stick it in his ear, one bud in mine, one in his. And then I ask the question, will you join me in this meditation this morning? With the earbud in his ear already.
That's right. Yeah. But it makes a difference, right? It's all of that, whether it's one of those things, both of them, walks in nature, some process of presencing yourself in the moment, and doing some form of reflecting.
Yeah.
Right. That's really, really important. So that's been a strong habit. Another huge one has been sleep.
Yes.
Right.
You're welcome.
That's been a huge one. I've traditionally been somebody who's
night owl.
Yep. Up late and then, or go to bed late, up late. And up late, 7, 8 o'clock. And I've done this shift now where I'm in bed early, 9, 10 at the latest, and then up at 5. And I realized that part of that staying up late was about this sense of like me time almost, because everyone else is asleep and then, I'm awake, or I know that you will fall asleep quite quickly, where in the mornings now I've got this different type of me time. Because in the evening, what are we doing? Usually we'd be watching some show or Netflix.
Playing some game with the kids.
Which is important, but not, at some point they go to bed.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be going to bed at them.
Yeah.
And then in the mornings now, though, it's like we're in the gym, we're practicing our mindfulness, journaling,
meditation.
It's doing stuff for us. We are focusing on what we need to get done for the day, going out for like all those things that really move us towards our dreams and our goals versus before it wasn't so. And I just get way better sleep actually now. Yeah.
And that also helps with the regulation of the body, the mood, the mood swings. Just when you're rested and when you're physically active, your mind is rested and physically everything works better.
Yeah.
You're clearer. There's the forward momentum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just learning a lot more about good sleep habits. Like there's like a window, was it like between 10 and 2 or something, 11 and 3 or something like that, which is like, that's
prime time.
You're sleeping, your body
restoring
does most
everything.
of its amazing magical
healing
work.
Your body and all that stuff. Because when you're not feeling well, nothing is well.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this, sleep and habit stacking is because once you have those habits, they are there for life. And then you can build on more habits on top of that, positive and good habits in your business, right? Once you get those small things. So we always say start with something small that you can do. And then once it becomes like breathing, you don't even think about it, because getting up at 6 and going to your oxygen or the gym is now, even though my mind sometimes is like, don't do it, I don't care, let's sleep, it's so important. My body just automatically, there's that pattern, there's that habit, like it just gets itself out of bed. I call as if it's not attached to me. It's not attached in the morning to my mind because I want to sleep, making all those excuses that not to get up. But your body just, because that habit is there, your body just lifts itself out of bed, walks to the bathroom, gets ready, and then you feel good. And
it's not a decision that you're trying to make. You just do it. And so
just do it. Yeah.
So exercise was the third one, right? That was the third kind of like habit pillar that I think's been really important to us, because those three things, exercise, sleep, some form of mindfulness technique really looks after your mind and your body.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that working on your behalf in your favor, then anything you're up to is going to be harder than what it needs to be.
With our ongoing practice in our relationship, in our communication, what do you think we do faster now?
We deal with and talk about uncomfortable things that we need to talk about a lot faster.
Yeah.
And we do that because we do it faster and we do it earlier. They don't become a big thing.
Yes.
Right. And so we do that definitely a lot faster.
Yeah. The repair
when things don't go according to plan.
Yeah.
And we're really fast to repair conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're really good at that.
And I think one thing that we're really good at is not bringing the past into the situation that we're dealing at hand. We used to do that. I think a lot of people do it. When you're having a disagreement, you start bringing, well, you did this a week ago. You said that 2 months ago. You said this last year. We stopped doing that.
Yeah. And that's a great point.
Which was a hard...
Because when when you're in a relationship for a long period of time and you're used to a certain person having certain habits, showing up a certain way, making the same mistakes, and then you actually start to change.
Yeah.
And you start to implement different habits, new ways of doing things, and there is a difference. There's a lot more runway behind you that is
supporting the old
you, and like barely any runway the new you behind you, right? All of that's in front of you. And so it took some time, right, on both sides to be able to be like, okay, we need to catch ourselves because it's our habitual kind of response, right? And we need to change that as well because the person is changing. Yeah,
it is. It's like, who am I today?
Yeah.
I choose who I am today.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what and who I was prior to. Yes, who I was, what I did made me who I am today. However, the past does not define me. The past does not define you, because we can change, we can grow, we can learn, and we can do that together.
Yeah.
And it's important to acknowledge the growth and the changes, even the smallest ones. Because if you don't, and you're constantly bringing up, well, you were like this or you did that, but I'm not doing it now.
Yeah.
It's so important to move forward and to grow as a couple.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest tools that you can have in your tool belt, is to just remember that the person who's showing up today is not the same person that they were when whatever thing happened.
Yep. Yep. As long as you are having the conversations, right? Dreaming about the different future, and because the thing is that you could be doing all the work, learning about yourself, learning about your good beliefs, as well as the beliefs that are, you don't want people to know about. But if you keep all that to yourself, because it can feel like, oh, I'm learning so much about myself. I am changing. I am a new person. I am being different. But you're not communicating those things to the other person.
Yeah.
The other person is not, you're leaving it up to chance.
Yeah.
Whether they experience you the same way you're experiencing yourself.
Yeah.
And so you need to have those conversations. And so that goes back to one of those uncomfortable things that we do, a lot faster and better, is that I was sharing something with you just upstairs. I just had this wrote something down, aha moment. And normally I would just keep that to myself in a notebook, right? That it would be highly unlikely that I would go back to, where I'll share that with you right away.
Yeah.
And you do the same.
Yeah, it is. What the message is talk to each other. Communication is so important. What's the saying you say? Communication is
the foundation to relationships.
Relationships
are the foundation to accomplishment.
That's right.
Yeah. And
when you don't have good communication, you don't have good relationship.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it's up to you to be the person you want the other person to be for you first.
Say that again.
It is important for you to be who you want the other person to be for you first.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? Because we always...
It's like a treat others the way that you want to be treated kind of approach.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want
when you have a list of what we want the other person to be for us, but are we those things on that list ourselves?
Yeah.
That is important.
So if you want the other person in your relationship to be a good communicator, even if you already believe that you are a great communicator, you need to work on becoming an even better communicator, right? Because
and it's good to ask the other person that you're in a relationship with, how do you feel I communicate? Like, who am I to you?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you see me? It's like when we're at work, we get measured by something, someone, but we never ask our partners, hey, babe, is this landing? How am I doing?
How do you experience my communication when we are in a disagreement?
Yeah.
Right? Because you may think that you are being cool, calm, collected, or the way that you're communicating is, normal.
Yeah.
And maybe for you it is because that's been your experience of how to communicate in those situations from, childhood or, in a work setting or with your parent, all those things, siblings, where the other person is a completely different upbringing.
Yes.
And they could experience your way of communicating as, disrespectful or blaming or whatever it is. And then we end up in this like silent, resentment, right? Where we are, arguing with the other person in our head, being like, I can't believe that you talk to me this way.
Yeah.
You are so disrespectful. I would never talk to you. I would never do this to you. I would never talk to you this way. And then
you say nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the big takeaway is communication needs to be communicated.
Yes. Well said.
Speak. Thank you. I thought of that myself. But it's true. It's like if you don't say it, if you do not say the things you need, who is to know
say it for you? Nobody.
What you want and what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we're not mind readers. We need to say to our partners, and women, I'm speaking on behalf of the women, men are not mind readers. How can he
I can confirm that.
Right? It's true. We do, and we build resentment. Well, doesn't he see that I'm doing the dishes and he's just sitting there? To him, it's like, well, she's always doing the dishes. She just doesn't want me in the kitchen, so I'm going to stay away.
Yep.
How are they supposed to know that you're like silently resenting the fact that they're not helping you out? Ask for it. They're not supposed to know because the way we're training them is that by the language, what we say, no, get out of my kitchen. I don't want you in here when I'm doing. And then I'll be like, I want you to cook with me.
Well, but it goes back to that very first thing we're talking about asking for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not even be that you are a person that's telling them to get out of the kitchen, but you're also not asking for help.
Yeah.
You're also not saying, hey, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I would appreciate it that sometimes you do the dishes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to tell you when.
Yeah.
I just want you to do it.
Yeah.
And, then at least that starts the conversation where if you never say it, then the other person is just going to go.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's at the beginning of the relationships we get in, we come out of how we were raised. Mm-hmm. So we watched our parents and their roles and responsibilities. And you watched your parents, their role responsibilities. We didn't talk about our roles and responsibilities within our marriage and our relationship and how we would run a household together.
That's right.
We just assumed based on our upbringing who's doing what.
Yep.
And then if the person starts feeling resentful because I didn't sign up to be doing this, but did you actually say it?
Yeah. And I want to say too, it's not always, since we're using like the kitchen as a metaphor or the example, it's not always the woman, right? That's doing that stuff. There are situations where the man is the one that seems to be always picking up after everybody and cleaning all stuff. But the same thing happens is they don't communicate the fact that it's like, hey, why am I always doing this? Like, I need help.
Yeah.
Right. And so on. And then it just builds that resentment, which will cause that connection to not be as deep. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, with gratitude.
When you say gratitude, we didn't talk about that. That's been a huge piece, right? Yeah. Of like repair, of emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, because you can't be grateful and mad at the same time. You can't be grateful and resentful at the same time. You can't be grateful and pissed off at the same time. And so when you just force yourself, and it's actually not that hard, because you could start off just being grateful that you woke up. I'm grateful for my lungs working, right? I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for all these things. And at the beginning, it might be a little slow, but the more you practice it, as soon as you start the process, it's like you just feel better.
I do.
Right.
And I mean,
because your nervous system gets regulated and it knows, as soon as we start being grateful, it means we end up feeling this way. So we just fast track the process.
Yeah. And that's what happens with my morning meditation, not medication.
I mean, it's a form of meditation.
I mean, it is kind of, whatever. But yeah, morning meditation for gratitude and gratitude. And it isn't just a word, and it's a feeling. When you start practicing gratitude, it becomes this whole cellular level change.
Yeah, I would say it's, gratitude is more than a feeling. When I think about something like happiness, that's a feeling. It's not really an action, but gratitude is an action. Like it's something you do, like to express gratitude, right? And you feel lighter, you feel happier, you feel more joyful, you feel light. But gratitude is actually an action.
Yeah. So I invite you, if you haven't incorporated a gratitude practice, to try it. 2026. I mean, start right now if you want to.
Yeah, don't wait.
Don't wait.
Do it now.
2026.
Be grateful for this podcast.
Yeah. 2026, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
But first thing in the morning, gratitude practice has really shifted our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait for you to be in a crappy mood to practice gratitude. No. But it's also
it actually mitigates a lot of shitty moods too. Because
right.
it is. It changes, gets rid of, it moves through the body when you actually in gratitude. It's a feeling I can't explain. You just have to. You have to experience it yourself. So with that, we are so grateful again for your support, your listening, your questions, all our guests, and we are looking forward to 2026. And we've created a couple of journaling and reflection prompts for you guys to take away if you choose to do so for 2025, so that you can get clear on how to be and who you want to become in 2026.
Yep.
Because you need to know where you are to know the direction that you're going to be going.
And knowing where you are, as far as where you are and actually getting clear on your business or, getting clear on the type of relationship that you want in your life or financially your situation. But it's also about getting to know who you are.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know who you are, then how can you be honest and authentic to others if you don't know yourself the way that you need to know yourself? And
you need to know all of you, the light and the shadows.
And the dark. So some of these questions are designed to do that.
Yes. So here are our journaling and reflection prompts for you, our beautiful listeners, reflecting on 2025. So ask yourself these questions. Where did communication break down most often this year, and why?
And with that question, the invitation is to swap the magnifying glass for the mirror, right? So when you there's a tendency that when communication break down, when it didn't happen, you're going to think of somebody that you were communicating with and why. There's a good chance you're going to go, well, because they didn't hear me, or this, that, the other thing, right? Look at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What pattern did I finally become aware of?
And with pattern, that can be habits or anything. It's not about pattern that you become over to change it. Awareness is the first step.
Yeah.
So just being aware.
When did I choose avoidance over honesty? That's a good one.
That is a good one. Yeah. When did you avoid something?
Something.
Yeah. Even with yourself.
Yes. And even because you were scared or didn't want to cause conflict or situation.
Yeah. Or when you were thinking about what it is that you really want. Maybe it's a job you're in that you don't like and you're convincing yourself to stay there, or, you know, what you really want to accomplish. Maybe you're avoiding that big, hairy, audacious goal because it makes you feel uncomfortable. What helped me feel safest in my relationship this year?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Yeah.
I think what made me feel most safest is you leaning in when we're having uncomfortable conversations. You weren't avoiding, you weren't making me wrong.
Yeah, I was showing up.
You were showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the safety piece. I didn't have to fight for your attention. I didn't have to fight. Like fight. You know, I could have just approached and say, hey, this is what's happening.
What did I learn about my nervous system during conflict? And so this is, if you don't know how to answer that yet, then it's a good practice of doing like a body scan, right? When you are in conflict, think about something. This is part of a conversation we were having earlier today about, I can be in this state of abundance. And then I think about putting myself, like promoting myself, selling myself, right? And that automatically brings a sense of discomfort. Yeah. Then doing a body scan. Yeah. And just getting a sense of, okay, where in my body, my nervous system is, you know, how am I responding right now, right? Because that helps you bring awareness too.
So now we're going to jump into relationship awareness. Ask yourself, what does repair actually look like for me?
Yeah. And repair being when conflict happens, what, am I somebody that prefers words, right, from my partner, or touch? Yeah. Yeah.
Where am I holding resentment instead of naming a need?
Instead of asking for what you want.
That's right. How do I respond when I feel misunderstood?
Is it healthy or unhealthy?
What tone or behavior from my partner helps me stay open?
Ooh, I love that. Instead of what tone or behavior from my partner, you know, helps me stay closed or upsets me, it's, helps me stay open, helps me keep the armor down.
Because you don't want to go in with blame to your partner. You say, when you do this, I feel like that. Yeah. But it's so important for that positive reinforcement. Hey, babe, I really loved how our conversation went today. And then where do I need stronger boundaries to protect connection?
Boundaries are important.
Yes.
Yeah. But then communicating those boundaries.
Yes.
You don't just establish those boundaries for yourself and then keep them silent.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a difference between like boundaries, setting boundaries that help, to using the word boundaries. This is my boundary. I'm not going to talk about it. That's avoiding. Yeah. You know? Yeah. That, again, not having those difficult conversations, people will say, I don't talk about this. That's a boundary, I said. Well, no, that's an avoidant. Yeah. And you're using the word boundaries not to talk about it and saying but why? Why? Yeah. That the biggest question is why, right? And then looking ahead to 2026, what relationship skills do I want to practice consistently next year?
What conversation have I been postponing? How can I lead myself better inside my relationship? Again, I would say that inside of your relationship with your partner, but as well as with yourself. Yeah. what does emotional safety look like for me now? So look at where do you experience that emotional or psychological safety in your life, and where do you need it?
Mm-hmm. What would progress over perfection look like in my communication? Because we're always thinking, oh, it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
But no, it's progress.
Yeah.
Those small wins,
Mm-hmm.
the small changes, the small habits.
Yeah.
And celebrating those.
It's important to just distinguish that accomplishment and result are two different things, right? Accomplishment is like taking the action, right? So you did the thing that needs to be done to get the result. So simple analogy is, I want to be fit, whatever fit looks like for you. Well, the result is looking a certain way, but the accomplishment is exercising. The action is actually doing it, getting to the gym. So the accomplishment is I showed up, I went to the gym, I worked out. That's the accomplishment. And so that's progress over perfection. Even if some days you do a really crappy workout because you don't have the energy, you still accomplished exercising. Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, on that note, thank you so much for sticking around with us. We are
excited about 2026.
Excited.
Yeah.
Year of the Horse.
More to come on that.
More to come on that.
Check out the newsletter. It'll have some more details on the Year of the Horse and the importance of preparing for 2026. So this being the Year of the Snake, and we've got a couple more weeks left to shed some shite in preparation for 2026.
That's right.
Yeah.
So follow us. Go onto our website at letsnotsugarcoated.com and sign up for our newsletter. We'll be sending out some tools every month, and get on the conversation. Join us for the conversation. Also check out our picoinstitute.com website, because there's a lot of things coming up. And we're so excited to share it all with you. So until next time, Happy New Year.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights to elevate your life and business.
If you found value in our conversation, spread the love. Share this episode with family and friends, and let's grow this supportive community together.
And don't forget to like and follow us so we can reach more amazing people just like you.
Until next time, remember, let's not sugarcoat it. Keep it real, raw, and unfiltered.